Hey everyone, Michael Short here. Come on, let's go outdoors. You know, fishing ponds like the one behind me here at the Sam Livingston Bow Habitat Station are fantastic places to go out and catch a fish. But the province has embarked over the last number of years on a very innovative program taking place along the eastern slopes. And it has to do specifically with bringing back Westslope Cutthroat Trout. This program is all about giving Westslope Cutthroat Trout a head start in life. The big goal is to strengthen local populations and promote genetic diversity, which is key to their long-term survival.
So what we do is we use what we call RSI, or remote site incubation buckets, and they are basically simulating or upwelling water, and they basically allow the eggs to be oxygenated in a bucket that is in stream, and then once the fish hatch out, they can just flow out of it. And so it's a really unique way that you do that. They do this exact same thing for salmon at a much larger scale, and the work that has been done in Montana was a really good template for what we could do for West Slopes.
The program launched in 2015 as a response to declining trout populations. Habitat loss, climate change, and other pressures were taking a significant toll, and streamside incubation offered a practical, hands-on solution to help the fish recover.
The location that we selected for this project, there are no natural predators. There's no other fish species present in the system. It was a fishless system that we moved fish into. We went through a lot of the literature, and it suggested that you need a certain number of stream kilometers and a certain number of volume of catchment area. And we have some water bodies in the province that are fishless that have those qualities. And so we did some habitat assessment, and after that we determined that this would be a good candidate site, and so we put the fish into it. There's a fish barrier on the system, and the fish barrier downstream has pure Westslope cutthroat trout, and that's all that's down there.
Measuring success means looking at how many trout make it to adulthood in the wild, tracking their survival rates, and studying their ability to reproduce and maintain genetic health. Early results have been incredibly encouraging.
Our hatchery hatches from the wild is close to 75% from egg to eye-up to actually alevins leaving the tub. So that's pretty good. That's better than in many hatchery scenarios. The first metric we're looking for is survivability. Are they overwintering in this area? And the next metric will be spawning. Are we seeing natural recruitment? The whole goal of this is to develop recovery actions that are self-sustaining. And so we've taken the steps in the front end to protect the genetics. And the next step is to make sure that those fish that we collect can survive in the destination location over time. Just because we have fish in the system doesn't mean we actually can use them. When we started talking to our colleagues who've done this type of work for years down in Montana, they informed us that it wasn't going to be easy, and they were right. We typically find about 10% of the fish that we catch electrofishing might be suitable for genetics and producing eggs and gametes at the same time. So it's a lot of effort, but we really have a great staff that is putting the effort in, and we're learning a lot about these natal streams and where to find these suitable fish that are free of disease and have the right genetics.
At the end of the road, biologists are hoping for a self-sustaining population of Westslope cutthroat trout, a keystone species. The recovery has a ripple effect that benefits the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, the habitat has to be there for the fish to survive. But there also seems to be something really unique about more genetically diverse species have the ability to sustain themselves over time and even with change on the landscape. So preserving those natural genetics might be also just as important as protecting the habitat.
While there's still plenty of work ahead and results to analyze, Brian remains optimistic about the future of the Westslope Cutthroat Trout.
I think that once we start seeing recruitment at the scale of these little local populations, and we can start seeing genetics sharing in these areas. They might not go back upstream above a barrier, but sharing new genetics is going to be critical for recovery. I think that we have a lot of opportunities here for moving fish in a very sensible and scientific manner, not willy-nilly, and trying to facilitate recovery for a different variety of species. And I think that when we do that type of activity, we make a stronger fishery for Alberta anglers, for sure.